Good evening, everyone. It is wonderful, lovely Tuesday evening. It's been a little bit chilly up here in Illinois. I'm James Fraher, your host of World Events, and I have two excellent guests on the show tonight. They're both singers, and they're both really good. They both are Christian singers. One is more of after a Christian singer, also a patriotic singer, and the other one, Natasha, is a Christian political singer. So, and they both write their own songs, and they both have been around for a while. So, I'm going to bring up Natasha first, and then right after that, I'm going to bring up Cathy Reynolds. Hello, both of you ladies.
Hello.
So, what I'm going to do before we go any further, we are going to do this correctly, and we're going to put our hands over our heart, and we're going to play the national pledge. I mean, boy, the national anthem. And this is also Natasha Owens's song. So we're going to get this as soon as I find the right one. Like I said, I'm a one-man show here. There it is. Here, a Star Spangled Banner. Here it goes. Natasha, a lovely rendering of that song. And I'm going to go to Cathy real quick since she's the senior of the two ladies. And Cathy, about a 2-minute thing of what got you into music, what gets you into Christian and your patriotic songs, and where you from?
Okay, I'm from Horton, Illinois, pumpkin capital of the world. I've always loved to sing, but I only wanted to sing for God. But I didn't feel worthy. I was a sinner, and it just God wouldn't want me at all. So I decided, well, I'll just teach kids to sing, and so I did. And so I taught kids and all the way up through adults, and taught them to sing and perform. And they went all over the world really singing, and they would ask me to do it now and then, and every once in a while I would, but I would just send one of my kids. And so I was in my late 40s, maybe early 50s there. And I was at church and they're like, God has called you and you are being disobedient. And it's like, okay, you're not talking to me. And when church, 4,000 people there, 3 balconies. Okay, so here I am at this church, and the pastor says, you've been called and you're sending, like, say you're a singer, you're sending students. And I was looking around like, where is this pen light? Because it was right on me. And so I was like, God, if this is what you want, I will do it the rest of my life, but you got to make it clear because your girl is not that smart here. I don't want to do something that is about me. It's got to be for you. And so that afternoon, I met Jerry Kelso, who was playing with the Stamps Quartet. And I was like, that piano player was the greatest piano player I'd seen. So I had to meet him. And one of the students that I taught was an Elvis impersonator. So he was going to have this group come and back him being Elvis. So I told Jerry, I was like, oh my word, I can't believe it. You are so amazing. So he says, well, I've been wanting to start being a publisher, or a producer. And I've been looking for somebody I could do the first album for. He says, would you want to do it? I was like, is that a door? I don't know. So I gave him my card. He gave me his. He said, I want you to make your voice, give me a sample. And so I didn't do it. And a month later, the pastor says, wow, you've been called, the door opened, you didn't take it. So disobedient. And I cried. I said, Lord, if this is what you want, you better make it more clear because you're girl here. And so I prayed, if this is it, I will spend the rest of my life serving you in song.
Great. Now I heard you
finish it really fast. So I left church, headed for the restaurant, 5 minutes. The phone rang. It was Jerry. And he says, listen, I know you said you were a gospel singer. I haven't got your music. I don't know what it's about. But I thought maybe God told me to make sure that you're going to get to do this song. And it's called The Freedom Flag. And I said, Jerry, I drive a red, white, and blue car. And 90% of the things that I do in any of the things with my students is we honor the veterans, because I couldn't do what I do at all if it weren't for what they've done. So I was like, okay, God, you made it pretty clear. I don't know what else he could have done to make it more clear. And a few months later, we were in the studio doing my first CD. And every time anything goes weird, Jerry calls, I call him my door.
Good. Now, I heard you have several albums out. You also do children's books. And where have you had special appearances at?
I've done the White House, but one of my favorites was Ground Zero, because I had 2 sons that served in the war. Well, when the Twin Towers came down, before they could rebuild everything, they had to do a lot of things. And one of the things they had to do was to have a closing ceremony, to have all of the ironworkers who had donated their time to try to find the people in the buildings, because they knew where the pockets would be. So they went in and just bringing people out. And what happened was, now these people are sick with cancer. And so they had 300 Harley Davidsons coming through New York with policemen, firemen, and these people that were iron workers. And out of all the people on Broadway, they had sing the national anthem. They chose me, corn-fed girl in Illinois.
What an honor.
I know. So I got to go there and do the national anthem at the event before they did breaking of the new grounds for the new Twin Towers.
Wonderful. And Natasha, let's go on to you real quick.
I lost audio again. Same thing that happened last time. I can hear you now.
All right. Natasha,
yes.
Introduce yourself a little bit, about 2 or 3 minutes, and what you've done, where you've been at, because I know where you've been at. Okay. So put it out there.
So I grew up from a musical family, but I struggled with depression. I'm not depression, anxiety, stage anxiety, and so I never wanted to be in the forefront, and I always wanted to kind of be in the background. Well, in 2010, my dad passed away cleaning his guns. A bullet came out and hit him in the heart, and I downsprouted into a deep depression. I was strong for a year. 6 months into my depression, my pastor calls, asked me to be a music minister. And I said I was too depressed. I was angry at God. I questioned him why, and I didn't get an answer. And so he kept calling, and he called on a day that absolutely saved my life. I wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for him.
Wow.
And I said yes to a position that I wasn't qualified for. I can't even play. I can hear by ear, and I would have to label the keyboard in order to write out anything, any parts. It was extra hard for me. But God trained me, didn't know it at the time, for what I started doing professionally. Someone who had such severe anxiety didn't want a spotlight. God has a very funny sense of humor. And so it was a whole God thing that really opened up the door and got me past my anxiety in order to walk this road in the professional world. And that is a whole hour in itself to tell you my testimony about how God showed up. My very first concert was on my dad's birthday that I said no to until I heard that it was October 3rd. So every album in contemporary Christian was a different chapter of my recovery, and I didn't know it at the time that we created it. From making it through a trial to rising above to being a warrior and then truly standing in Christ. So in 2018, I started changing my trajectory just a little bit because I started questioning why the church was so silent on evil topics like full 9-month abortions. I'd never seen such evil,
No.
and that was happening in Virginia, New York at the time. So we wrote a song called "Stand," which went on that title track as that fourth album, and couldn't understand why the church was just being so neutral on culture topics, right? Well, in 2020, when everything shut down, we did a Christmas album, and I also decided to do a patriotic album, which Nashville industry frowned upon. And that's where I turned completely, because I put a pro-life song on that. I was starting to get, I got boycotted from the radio stations, boycotted from the promoters in contemporary Christian for pro-life. I'm too pro-life. So I turned and started putting truth in social topics and controversial topics, topics that we're not allowed to talk about. I give an anthem in order to sing about, and songs that now get me death threats. That half the people hate me the moment they come out, but people hate the truth these days, right? And especially if it's not the truth that they want to hear or they want me to speak, they try to censor that. So that's kind of where I'm at. The past two songs, I took a different turn as well. Instead of hitting just a general topic, we hit actually headlines and did it very quickly, back to back. So I don't know. It's not something that I really want to do because I wore my team out, but it was fun chasing the headline.
Yep, it is, and you do it.
So
So I
proud
have,
of you.
yeah, I am too. Especially coming from a woman, because people, the men, unfortunately, sometimes try to keep women down, and she
Yeah.
stands up right in front of them and basically tells them, "Shoved up your dark side." Yeah,
I
I'm
sure
saying,
did.
I say it politely. Now,
They hated
Natasha,
Jesus too.
yes.
Yes.
So,
This is a spiritual warfare. At the end of the day, it's
Mhm.
mhm.
not right. It's not right and left. It's good or evil.
No.
Well, you reached out to me about a week and a half ago on Facebook Messenger, and you said you want to talk about your new song. And so I'm going to let you talk a little bit about your new song, and I'll get it ready to play.
Sure. So this came out at the tails less than a week later after we released the Somali Waltz, which was about the Minnesota fraud. And the left did not start burning down the city until the fraud came out. I really do believe it was a distraction for that. So we were servicing that single, and people were asking me, what do you have coming down the pike? And I said, well, we've got some things. But little did I know that in 6 days from that, we were going to launch another song that had not even been created yet. So Bruce Springsteen, who has always been a draft dodger, a very liberal, left, like anarchist type, he kind of marketed himself, and I think the American people misunderstood him back in the 80s, 90s, and thinking that he was really a voice for them, a patriotic voice who loved this country. That's not what he ever was. But people began to think in the 80s and 90s that Bruce was a spokesperson for the middle wage worker, the forgotten man, just middle America. And so fast forward all these decades, he's continued to try to be in the headlines and really just stir things up. And he put out a
Mm.
song called Minneapolis Streets that it was like, okay, he just crossed the line. He's not only giving them an anthem, the people who are burning down the
Mhm.
buildings and attacking ICE. He's given him an anthem, but he's pretty much saying it's okay, and it's okay to overthrow Trump. It's okay to overthrow ICE and the authorities, and pretty much calling all of us that like law and order, that appreciate law enforcement, pretty much pigs. And his words were so over the top. I got on the phone. Me and my husband were on the phone with our co-producer and co-songwriter, and I was just venting. And I said, what about the victims of the illegals that come into our country? They have no business being here. They rape,
Exactly.
murder. What about Lake and Riley? What about Charlie Kirk? What about when somebody tried to take a shot at President Trump? Complete silence on the other end. But the moment you try to round these gang members up, these people who have been brought here from the jails and the asylums, suddenly they're worth saving, but our young people and our women and our children are not worth saving, right? Are not worth being protected.
Right.
So I went on this rant, and I said, somebody just needs to tell him he's not the boss anymore. He is not the voice of middle America anymore. And so by the next morning, I would go to sleep. The next morning, my co-writer and producer calls and at 8 o'clock in the morning and said, I stayed up all night long. I feel like God inspired this, but I have a complete song ready. And I'm like, why didn't you call me at 2 a.m.? Um, and so I'm listening to it and I'm like, it sounds just like an 80s Bruce Springsteen song. And he put 7 of Bruce's song titles in it, which I thought was very creative. If you've heard Minneapolis Streets, the production was terrible, the pronunciation was terrible. It sounded like he just got on GarageBand and recorded something in like 10 minutes, right? Not even any thought into it. And so it was pretty cool that now within 24 hours, this song was created. Within 36 hours, he flew here to Dallas and we recorded it. We had it out with a music video in 6 days.
Wow.
And within 12 hours, it knocked Bruce Springsteen off of the #1 rock spot on the rock
Wow.
charts. And so for an entire day, I had the visual of #1, The Boss, #2, Bruce Springsteen. Immediately tech suppression started. By the afternoon, less than just 3 or 4 hours of it launching, we had a call to our music distributor saying, from a friend in Apple, saying, I just want you to know they've already had a meeting today about how to suppress your song. They are furious about this song and how quick it got to the charts. So what people don't understand is that liberal left and Hollywood and celebrities and so forth that don't have the conservative views, they can advertise, they can buy their way to the top
Right.
of the charts, they can do all these things. I have none of those toolboxes in my toolbox. I'm not allowed to do anything. They suppress me. You would go on to try to find the song, you couldn't find it. And when you did find it, it would show me #1 on the chart, but the name of the song and my name was completely erased. Very, very hard to find. So when an artist that's conservative makes it to the top, it not only sends a shockwave through the music industry because I shouldn't be there, right? With all the tricks that they've played, it shows that the people have responded. It's nothing but the people responding, and that scares them to death. But
Well, you
It stayed there for a week. We got when Billboard came out, they said it's not just rock. We've actually allowed you to have country charting and alternative rock charting. So we got 3 charts on Billboard, made it to #4 on Billboard. So we're very proud of this one, and got the attention of Bruce Springsteen too. His manager emailed
I bet.
Arcade chewing us out. And I had said on several interviews that it was so terrible, kind of like what I said tonight, that he needed to go re-record it if he wanted to actually, not hang his head down in shame. And he went and re-recorded it and put out a new version. So they're definitely listening to what we're saying and doing, which I think is very funny.
Well, you want me to roll with that song?
Sure. This is
All
the
right.
boss.
Here it goes.
Sang for me in those glory days of old. Where is your song for justice? Where is your song for the working man? I was born in the USA and you spit on my promised land. You preach from your mansion, but you don't know the cost. I thank God you're not the boss.
From the boss. We need help from the boss.
Well, everyone, that was Natasha Owens' latest song, The Boss. And she stands up against anybody there is, and she will say her thoughts in music. And what's the best way to connect to people is with music. Okay. And so let's go back to thank you, Natasha, for that wonderful song.
Oh my goodness, I love it.
I love doing angry rock. I'm like, I need to do more angry rock. I kind of like that.
Yep.
How fun.
Now, Cathy, we talked a little bit before. Which song would you want me to bring up for you now?
I don't know. I just wanted to finish the one thing that when I told God I wasn't worthy, he said to me loud and clear, then what I did for you wasn't enough.
No.
And I okay, and that was that. I've been doing it ever since.
What about, since we haven't enough time yet, says I know we're getting on a constraint because of Trump speaking tonight.
Yeah.
I want to hear the freedom flag. What do you think about that, Natasha?
That sounds great.
All right, let's go with the freedom flag, and here it comes.
see the history of the brave and its fallen men. And they fought the fight against the odds, both great and small. They carried the banner to every war to answer freedom's call. They lifted the freedom flag in the heat of the battle, when it was do or die and the enemy fired. They didn't let our glory unravel. I'm thankful for their sacrifice, for those who gave their lives. May it always fly high, the freedom flag. There is truth in those colors that can't be denied. Every stitch has been woven with love and pride. So we won't forget red, white, and blue stand for liberty. We'll cherish that precious cloth for what it means to you and me. They lifted the freedom flag in the heat of the battle, when it was do or die and the enemy fired. They didn't let our glory unravel. I'm thankful for their sacrifice, for those who gave their lives. May it always fly high, fly high. Oh, beautiful for patriot dreams that sees beyond the years, They lifted the freedom flag in the heat of the battle, when it was do or die and the enemy fired. They didn't let our glory unravel. And I'm thankful for their sacrifice, for those who gave their lives. May it always fly high, the freedom I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wow, amazing. I have, my God, how high did you get? You remind me a lot of Sandy Patty. Just
thank you.
perfect pitch on those high parts. Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. I
enjoyed
love
it.
Sandy Patty. She's awesome.
That's who you remind me of.
Thank you.
Well, it's amazing how I got you two on here. You know, I know Natasha reached out to me about a week and a half ago on Facebook Messenger about a new song. And I'm thinking, who can I put her on the show with? You know?
Perfect.
And my wife goes, because my wife has heard Cathy sing. In fact, Cathy sang at my Trump rally in Peoria, Illinois.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Yes. And so my wife goes, what about Cathy? I said, wow.
Perfect.
I mean, so I got to give applause
You
to
got
my
a
wife,
smart
Tina.
wife there.
Yes.
Yes. So they met each other. And then, like I said, Cathy has sang at the church. So everybody, these are two amazing, talented women, okay, that I would, to me, I can't sing like that. And then, like I heard Cathy is way up there in the tones. Is
I
like,
can't sing like that either.
you know?
Beautiful.
So, I mean, two very talented singers and songwriters that we have together, and they have never met each other until just now.
And I have a new sister. Woohoo!
Yes.
And so, Cathy, what made you sing that song real quick?
Well, I love the military, and honestly, no Christian should take them for granted, because where would we be if we don't watch it? Where are we going to end up? So I've always given respect to the military. They were my heroes, especially the Vietnam veterans. I was just a kid and they came home and I wanted to get their autographs. I didn't understand anybody that would mistreat them. They weren't doing anything that was, I just loved them. And so I always tell them thanks for their service. And anytime we get an opportunity to perform for any of them, I do it.
Great. Now, Natasha, I have a couple of songs here. I want you to pick the first one you want to play. It's either the Somali Waltz or the Second Amendment Protects the First. I want everybody to know that Natasha Owens is a very Second Amendment rights person, and her song, like she says, the Second Amendment protects the first. Now, the Somali Waltz, this song, the Somali Waltz, was made right before The Boss.
Yes.
So, Natasha,
before.
Yep, you tell me which one you want to roll.
Well, just because the Somali Waltz is so new, but you choose. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. Somali's fine. It still makes me laugh as many times as I've seen the video.
It's so
me too.
But the other one makes me laugh too, because I got to be like on a tank shooting big guns.
Yeah, we'll show that one real quick.
That's what my son was, a tank driver.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're gonna
tank on the runway when they took the airport in Baghdad. Sorry, I'm be quiet.
Oh, nice. Wow. All right, so we're gonna roll with the Somali Waltz. And Natasha wrote this in it was out and published in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So, yeah.
Yep. And here it comes.
The Somali Waltz. In Mogadishu, Minnesota, you might have heard there's quite a load of money missing, new millionaires, all the kids are leering in fake daycares. The Somali Waltz, the Somali Waltz, it's the same old song. The Somali Waltz is sad but true. They're screwing you, dancing to the Somali Waltz. Play your cards right, you could be governor. And if you need a green card, marry your brother. With liberal judges on the take, there's no fear of justice while they shimmy and they shake. The Somali Waltz, the Somali Waltz, it's the same old song. The Somali Waltz is sad but true. They're screwing you, dancing to the Somali Waltz. The Somali Waltz, the Somali Waltz, it's the same old song, and it's going strong. It's sad but true. They're screwing you, dancing to the Somali Waltz. And coming soon to a state near you, new name saying to the Somali Waltz.
That still
Fair.
makes me laugh.
Me too.
Fun. I love it.
And my husband always makes a surprise appearance somewhere in these videos. It's like finding Waldo,
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, he was the ICE agent at the end, and he was a saxophone player in The Boss.
Oh, that's so cool. Perfect.
Now, did you ever take any heat from that one?
Oh my God, I'm a racist, absolute racist. And I'm like, I can't help it. The Somalis were the ones I put white people and Hispanics in there too, you know? But
Well,
anyway, yeah, I'm just terrible. Going to hell in a handbasket.
you know, what gets me about, they talk about this immigration and ICE enforcement, and they say it's always people of color. It's not. I mean, it don't matter. Yeah, it depends on which country you're from that you're more liable to be brown or black, but there are whites that's being apprehended too.
Right.
So I wish they would put this race, cover your ears, Kathy, crap out of their mouths.
Well,
Okay.
they won't do it because it's the communist playbook. If they can divide us by class, color,
Right.
money, everything, then they
Everything.
can break us down from within. Because if we're not united, we will fall. You know.
So
Right.
much hate.
Now, since I don't know, we'll go back to Kathy or Natasha. Kathy, you would have just roll with Natasha for a while.
Sure.
Well,
Okay, you
I
know. Uh,
absolutely adore her.
oh, thank
well,
you.
like I said, you could probably hit her up on Facebook now. So uh, now Natasha, real quick in about 3 or 4 minutes. Uh, I like your story because I know you go to Mar-a-Lago. Okay, and real quick, going back on your Somali waltz. Remember a couple of weeks ago we had you on the show with Brad Kohler running for goat
Yes,
out of Minnesota.
yes,
It was
yes.
funny. Brad goes, "Am I the only one from Minnesota in the room?" Oh yeah, well sorry, Brad.
Sorry, Brad.
you know, but since you've been in Mar-a-Lago many times, and I know your story, uh, briefly tell people what Trump is really like and his faith in God or supreme being. Again, so people can get it through their heads that Trump's not out there for themselves. Because I know you said you've seen him cry at events.
Yeah, so I mean, he has Christianity all in his lineage. His grandparents were the beginning ministers of the Scottish revival. The Bible that he got inaugurated the first term was his grandfather's Bible. So he has that in his background, but I really do think that he's kind of a baby in Christ over the past 10, 15 years or so. Um, we were part of his faith initiative group the first time in the White House, and I've never seen a president in my lifetime be so pro-life, pro-Christian, pro-Israel. I mean, that is the work of Christ right there.
Yes.
And with every meeting, it had to start with praise and worship. It was very important for him to do that. I've seen him pray, I've seen him worship, I've seen him weep. Mar-a-Lago, we did a concert on the lawn back in 2023 ish, beginning of 2024. And we had just put out our Stand for Life song, and I sang that, and he bawled and just kept patting his heart, and he kept saying thank you. He has a very tender heart when it comes to this country, when it comes to the things that God loves, which is children, and he wants to protect. And we were in a room one day with him right before he announced he was running again, and he said, I can sit down right now and get my book deals and get my accolades and presidential libraries, and they will leave me alone and let me retire in peace. But he said, I cannot do that. And he started crying, and he said, they want to take away my freedom because I will never take away yours. And he said, this country believes so much. I
Wow.
believe so much in this country. I'm making you a promise and a vow today that I will never leave you, and I will always shield and protect this beautiful, beautiful country. And so, I mean, the media, he's a very funny sense of humor. He's one of the funniest people that I know. And the media takes it out of context a lot of times because of that. They take little sound bites. And but he doesn't have a racist bone in his body. I mean, he has such a servant's heart, and he is a security nightmare because he will pick up something for someone, he will open the door for someone. He has this arrogant side of him, but it's more of a confidence. But I probably would act that way too if I was boxing in the arena that he's boxing in. I mean, they're just terrible to him. I've never seen anything like it. But he is standing up for God's people, and he's putting Christianity. I mean, Just look at his speech on the prayer breakfast just a few weeks ago. It was unbelievable. I have never heard a president speak like that in all my life. He
Yep.
is definitely for Christianity, and he is definitely a child of God, and that is definitely he follows Christ. I know he does.
Yep. And what I'm going to do, ending on this note, because we're getting short on time, because we all want to be there, get here off here about 7-8 minutes. Natasha Owens took heat from this song. Okay, when she wrote it about 2 to 3 weeks before the assassination attempt on Trump.
I know which
And
one you're going to talk about.
I wouldn't know why. So this one is called, what's it called, Natasha?
It's called The Chosen One. Very
Yes.
controversial topic for a Christian.
Yep. I don't know if Cathy's heard this or not, but
An
here it comes.
imperfect man can be used by a perfect God.
Right.
But
He
this
didn't
one's
call the right.
I'm not saying he's something divine. He gets in trouble bigly time after time. He's controversial, but one thing is true. Imperfect people, a perfect God can use. I'm standing with the chosen one.
I am the chosen
Ain't
one.
no stopping what the Lord's begun. He's only human like you and me, just a chosen one.
Somebody had to do it.
Chosen one. This great nation is under attack, and its real leader has arrows in his back. So many greet him with a Judas kiss, but God gave us a warrior for such a time as this. I'm standing with the chosen one. Ain't no stopping what the Lord's begun. He's only human like you and me, just a chosen one. The chosen one. Brothers and sisters, lay down your stones. There's only one God and he's still on the throne. I'm standing with the chosen one. Ain't no stopping what the Lord's begun. He's only human like you and me, just a chosen one. The chosen one. He stands for me. He stands for you. He stands for freedom. He stands for truth. Trump is the chosen one.
So
Oh gosh, that one got me death threats, witches casting spells, 25 billion social media impressions, most were hate. It got so controversial that the Republicans shied away from me. But 3 weeks later, the assassination attempt happened, and then everybody was calling him the chosen one.
it's like he had a
Um,
premonition.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I guess so. I guess so. I do believe that God gives us the perfect timing sometimes on things. And I
Yep.
wondered, we had 10,000 atheists quoting a scripture telling us we were wrong. And I stopped counting at 10,000 messages. And my husband said, Tosh, even if your career is ruined, even if the Republicans never come back to your defense, we've done our job as Christians. We
Yes.
have gotten not only one but tens of thousands of atheists to read the Bible enough to quote it to you.
Wow.
So you've done your job. But that one put me in the hot seat for a while.
Yep, it did. Now I want to get ready to end this real quick. I want to end it with another one of Natasha Owens' song. And before we go, Natasha, how can people see your music, or tell them where they can see your music at and everything?
Natasha
Real quick.
Owens Music is a website that's a good landing page for just about anything. And it's got social media, merch, tour, whatever. Or you can just Google my name, or anywhere you find your music or stream your music, you can find me, Natasha Owens Music.
And great. And Cathy, what about you? Because I know you have like 8 CDs out.
CathyReynolds.net. Kathy's with a C, not a K.
And if anybody wants their information, those I have it too, so I can relay that to everyone. Now, Natasha, I'm gonna like real quick put this out there, and then we'll end this real quick. But this one really needed to be put out there, and like I said, she's a gun-toting woman. So here it comes.
I thought she was training for the Olympics. Hey, shooter.
Hey, what are you up to today? Are you in Texas?
Yeah, I'm in town. I'm actually heading to the gun range right now.
You are? Oh, I was just thinking of doing the same thing.
Awesome. Frisco Gun Club, and I will send you the address. See you then.
I'm a live and let live woman. Do your thing and I'll do mine. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Unless you go and cross that line. There are times we may find everything just goes from bad to worse. I hope to never use that little something hiding in my purse, but the second protects the first. I got God and I got freedom to say what I wanna say. That's the genius of our founding fathers. That's the beauty of the USA. But in these days, there are times we may find everything just goes from bad to worse. I hope to never use that little something hiding in my purse, but the second protects the first. Sometimes strangers come into our harbors. Sometimes strangers come into our home. But I don't go face to face with danger alone. I'm not alone in these times when we find everything just goes from bad to worse. I hope to never use that little something hiding in my purse. So don't you forget the Second Amendment protects the The second protects the first.
That's
Well,
awesome.
That was fun.
yes. Well, thank you, ladies. I thought it was a very good show. And Natasha, I know we'll be in touch again with your next new song coming out. And Cathy, we'll be in touch. I want to have you back at the church singing again. Okay.
So nice to
Uh,
meet you.
So nice to meet you
and, and maybe you two can keep in touch and,
on
That would be
Facebook.
great. Yes,
I,
that would be fantastic.
I
yep,
love it.
if you don't have her information on Facebook, I have it. So,
Yeah, because I have a question to ask you.
Okay,
who
good.
me, okay. But ladies, I know it's getting time real close. Any closing words from either of you?
Well, I want to thank you so much for having me and for giving me opportunity to meet one of God's truly anointed people. And you guys are rock stars, and I love you. And God bless you always.
It's been such a good time tonight. Thank you, James. I always loved coming on your show. I loved being with you, Kathy. And we have a new friendship, and I'm excited
Yes,
about that.
forever.
Just get out and vote. Primaries are happening right now, at least in Texas. Democrats are definitely voting a lot more. They're coming out in full force. We've got to get Christians registered. We've got to get people to vote. Do your part, and we will forever have this country if you'll just get out and vote.
Please.
Exactly. Yep. Vote and don't wait until the last day to vote. You can have early voting. Get out there and do it. And, we need to change it around, and the red needs to take over the blue. Ladies, again, wonderful. Uh, Natasha, I enjoy it every time we have our shows. Okay. And Kathy, maybe we'll have you two on somebody else on again. We can lighten it up. And so, anyway, I want to say God bless everyone. God bless these two ladies that have the talent to put their words out there in music. And God bless the USA. God bless this country. And God bless the world, and pray for peace. And everyone, I'm James Freher, the host of World Events from Illinois. Kathy's from Illinois, and Natasha's in Texas.
Yay.
Everyone, good night. I'm going to close it up. And if I'll be in the back room for a little bit, but other than that, thank you, ladies. A really good show. I loved it.